Hey everybody, it's Beth from Yoga and Reiki Bliss, and I wanted to pop in really quickly with a brief practice to help us awaken and strengthen the sides of our body. And so I'm thinking side waist, but also outer hip area, so that we feel a little more stable through our core, right? So not just the abdominal wall part of the core, but the side body core, and also feel more stable through our hips, through our pelvis, for things like walking and running and all the fun things that we want to do this summer. So for our practice today, I'd say a blanket would be great, and even a couple of blocks might be useful as well. And of course, your mat. So let's hop on the mat. And we're going to start seated in Sukhasana. And in Sukhasana, the legs are crisscrossed. If that's not available to you, then you can find any other seated position that's comfortable and where your pelvis and your spine are upright. So I'm going to start by folding my blanket in thirds, like a letter, so that I have a little bit of a perch. And I'm going to turn my blanket actually so the short side, so I sit on the short side so that my thighs can really drop down. And so I want to have that upright pelvis, upright spine, so I can breathe with ease, right? And we'll just start with that, finding the breath. And the next time you breathe in, let your two arms sweep out to the sides and rise all the way up to the sky. And when you exhale, you're going to take a little side bend to the right and let your right elbow bend and just feel the gentle curve through your spine. And when you inhale, we'll scoop the arms up. So just waking up. We'll take that side bend to the other side, waking up the side body, the ribs, the spine, the muscles along the spine. When you inhale, we'll come on up. We'll come back to the side bend to your right. And when you get here, notice how much weight is in your right hand. And just see if you were to lighten it 10%, A, what that feels like, and two, does that activate anything on the side of your waist here so that you don't flop over? When you breathe in, we'll come on up and we'll take it on the other side, and same idea. Let the hand find its way over and then let it lighten up by like 10 or 15%. So you still have some contact. You're not relying on it completely. When you inhale, come on up. Again, we'll go on over. Feel your breath. Lighten up. And I'd love you to pay attention to your left side waist area and see if you can feel it contracting to bring you upright. And then we'll check it in on the other side one more time. Again, lighten up your bottom hand. And then see if you can pay attention to the muscles along the right side. See if you can feel them bringing you all the way back up. And then let your two arms come down. Terrific. All right. From here, let's do a little shift onto our hands and our knees. And feel free to put a little blanket. I'm going to face you because I think it will be easier to see what I'm doing. And so in table, we'll set the knees as wide as the hips. And we'll let the hands set as wide as the shoulders so that your collarbones feel pretty darn spacious. And I'm just going to do a little change in my screen so you can see a little better. Great. Now from here, give a little push of the earth away. And without gripping, just imagine that little corset of support, the sides of the waist hugging toward the middle of your abdomen, and from your pubic bone or the base of your pelvis, rather, up to your breastbone, a feeling of zipping all the way up. And let's take your Right leg straight out behind you with the toes tucked under. And tap those toes out to the side. And can you keep that corset of support as you move your leg back? Give a little extra rooting into your right hand. Take your right leg out to the right and tap your left fingertips out to the left. And bring everything back. Now, if that feels pretty easy, you'll do it again. You can amp it up by bringing the right leg straight up off the ground, your left arm straight up off the ground. And as you do that, we're going to work to keep the pelvis, the spine neutral. So you don't have to take them crazy high. So you're trying not to allow things to dip into, say, a cow pose. We're also making sure that we haven't rotated the pelvis or the spine in any way. And then you can take them out to their side. So the right leg out to the right, the left leg arm out to the left. So here's your exhale. Here's your inhale. Here's your exhale. Here's your inhale. Check it in one more time. And then we'll try it on the other side. So first, again, give a little push of the ground away. Lightly, lightly hug your abdominals in and up. Let's take the left leg out behind you and just start by tapping it off to the side so you get that feeling. Did anything rotate through your pelvis or your ribs? Can things stay pretty neutral? And then bring it on back. Take that foot out to the side. Take your right arm out to the right. And then bring everything back. Check in and again, everything's stable. No cat or cow pose. Now, if that feels pretty easy, you can amp it up by lifting your arm and your leg and moving them out to their respective sides. Otherwise, stay with the tapping so you can work on stabilizing the trunk and the pelvis. You may even add a little pause with the arm and the leg out to the sides. You can really feel that work through your trunk. Let's do that one more time. And then we'll come on back. Super. Now, if you've got some blocks, it might feel really nice to bring the blocks under your shoulders. You're going to take a breath in, push down into your block, and step your right foot forward. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee. With a breath in, let's reach the right arm out to the side and sweep it all the way out and back by your hip. So here we go, a little side bendy again. Inhale, sweep forward and over to the left. And exhale, sweep forward and out and back towards your right. You can even look in that direction. Let's do that one more time. Inhale, sweep forward and across to your left. And exhale, sweeping on back by your right hip. Go ahead, breathe your way back to the center and lower your knees. Come back to table. Give a little push into your blocks. Exhale and step your left foot forward. Go ahead, tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, establish that lunge. Now, if it turns out that you need to turn your blocks up higher so you get a little more length for your spine, go for it. Let's inhale the left arm forward. And when you exhale, sweep it out to the left and back alongside your left hip. When you inhale, sweep forward and over to the right. Exhale and sweep it out and back. Let a little curve move its way through the spine. And inhale, sweep forward and over to your right. We'll do that exactly one more time. Exhale your breath. Inhale, sweep forward. And then take your hand to your block. Come back to table. Terrific. All right. Again, a little push into the ground. With your exhale next, step your right foot forward one more time. Tuck your left toes, lift your left knee. And if it feels precarious, feels wobbly today, for whatever reason, you could keep your back knee on the ground for either what we just did or where we're going. And I'd love you to keep your block under your left hand. Give a little push into it. Breathe your right arm forward and turn your belly and your chest to the right. And breathe your breath in. And breathe your breath out. And see if you can sense any rotation happening through the trunk, being initiated by your muscles. And the next time you inhale, lower your hand, unwind, and come back to table. Again, a little push into the ground. Step your left foot forward. Tuck your right toes, lift your right knee, or if it's better for you to keep it down, keep it down. Breathe your left arm forward so you get a little length through the spine. Keep rooting down into your right hand as you turn your belly and your chest. So again, minimizing any sinking into the shoulder, push it away. And see if you can sense this rotation happening from the muscles in your spine and the muscles around your abdomen that twist you. Take one more full breath in and out. Then go ahead, replace your hand, come back to the table. All right, go ahead and shift your blocks off to the side. And we're going to come to sit on your left hip. And we're going to bring the left elbow to the ground. And if you need a blanket under your left elbow, you can totally do that. Just like a second ago when your hand was on the block, try not to sink into the shoulder, push the ground away. And I'd love you to keep your hip in line with your elbow and move your knees back. So we're not creating a flexion here. We're trying to bring the pelvis to neutral, more or less. And now I'm rolling a little forward so that I'm not sitting on too much the bony part of my thigh bone. And then I'm going to try to keep this top hip from rolling back. I'm going to roll it a little forward. And again, my knees are pretty much in line with my pelvis here. I'm noticing in my own body a need to push my front ribs forward. So I'm going to nestle my front ribs back. I'm going to find that zipping up kind of quality, that hugging in quality. And with an exhale, I'm going to push down into my forearm, lift my hips. So this whole left side of the waist and hip, super active. And then lower down. Let's do that 2 more times. Take a breath in. And when you exhale, press down to lift up. Okay, it's like you're trying to get, like a sash was floating you up. And then go ahead, come down, or you're being supported by that imaginary sash. I'm using my shirt. Let's take one more breath in. And when you exhale, lift on up. Now see if you can stay. And if you like, you can bring this arm up to the sky. That adds a little extra challenge. Take one more breath in, and then we'll lower everything down. Great. Let's do the other side with now adding in just one more thought as we do this. And that's this. The temptation sometimes is to roll back or to rotate the trunk or the pelvis. I want to make sure we're trying to stabilize all that. So let's start setting it up the way we did. Your elbow under your shoulder, push the ground away so this collarbone feels wide. Move your knees back. Move any blocks that are in the way. Move your knees back. And let your knees and your hips be, again, in the same plane so that your pelvis isn't flexed, right? We're not creating a flexion or a bend at the hips. Now, zip up from the base of your pelvis to your breastbone, hug in, and see if you can roll the top hip a little bit forward. So again, I'm just coming forward of this knobby part of the thigh bone called the greater trochanter. It's just an attachment site for lots of tendons and things. So we're going to press down and with an exhale, lift up. And so notice if there's any temptation to turn your pelvis or your chest to the sky, let your breastbone face straight ahead and then lower. Again, root down into your forearm. When you exhale, lift up. So super strong. You should hopefully feel this. Like if you even touch this part of your body, hopefully you feel it's firming under your touch. And then we'll lower. And one more time, root down, rise up. Again, breastbone is facing straight ahead toward me. And the back of your pelvis is right to the wall behind you, facing in that direction. If you want to breathe your top arm up for just a little more juice, you can. And then we'll lower everything down. All right, my friends. Awesome work. Take a few minutes if you like to lay on your back. Maybe you do some windshield wiper twists to kind of unwind things. Maybe you take a moment in Shavasana to breathe and to feel into your strength, your physical strength, certainly. And of course, the mental strength, the emotional strength to pop onto your mat, right? That takes a lot, especially in our busy days, to say, no, I'm going to stop what I'm doing. I'm going to get on my mat because I know it feels really good to move and to breathe. All right, gang, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have not already subscribed to our YouTube page, please do so. And by all means, share this with your friends, invite them to join us so we can play together. It's always more fun with friends. And certainly you can visit my website, thisisyourbliss.com, to find out more about me and my teachings. And we've got more videos, full-length videos there. All right, have a wonderful day, and I will see you all real soon.